The popular image of the tempter in Eden is a snake. But an older version of the story suggests this creature was once something far more magnificent. This story describes the being as the most glorious in the garden. It was a beautiful and highly intelligent creature, standing above all other beasts of the field. Before it was cursed, this creature did not crawl upon the ground. It is said to have walked upright on legs, possessing a majestic and noble form. Its appearance was described as radiant and shining, full of light. It was not a simple reptile, but a creature that commanded both respect and attention. This being also had the power of speech and profound reason. Its ability to hold a complex conversation with Eve was considered normal for its original elevated state. It was known for its brilliant and cunning mind. It observed the world with great understanding and knew the secret desires of the human heart. Some interpretations of the tale suggest it was a very high-ranking being. It held a position of great honor and authority among all of God's other creatures. Envy became its ultimate downfall. It saw the glory God gave to Adam and Eve and became deeply jealous, wanting that same honor for itself alone. This burning jealousy motivated its plan to trick them. The creature believed that by causing their fall, it could somehow elevate its own position and status. It approached Eve not as a slithering reptile, but as a beautiful, articulate companion. Its appearance was charming, making its deceitful words easier to believe. The tempter began by planting a seed of doubt about God's word. Did God really say you couldn't eat from any tree? It asked with sly innocence. This single question was designed to undermine Eve's trust. It was the first step in making God's good command seem unfair and incredibly restrictive to her. Eve corrected the creature, explaining the one specific rule. She stated they were only forbidden from eating the fruit from the tree of knowledge. The being then directly contradicted God's solemn warning. "You will not certainly die," it insisted, offering itself as a source of secret hidden truths. It promised that the fruit would open their eyes and make them like gods. This was a powerful temptation, appealing directly to their desire for wisdom. The argument was incredibly sophisticated and very persuasive. It framed God's law not as a loving protection, but as a fence to keep humans down. Eve looked at the fruit and saw that it was beautiful. The creature's words made it seem like the key to gaining all the wisdom she wanted. She took the forbidden fruit and ate, and gave some to Adam. The tempter's carefully crafted plan had succeeded, leading to the first great disobedience. In that moment, their eyes were opened to a new reality. The wisdom they gained was not godlike power, but the painful knowledge of their own shame. When God arrived, the blame began to shift between them. Adam pointed to Eve, and Eve in turn pointed to the beautiful creature that had tricked her. God then turned to the tempter to deliver its unique punishment. This was the moment its magnificent form was shattered and remade by a divine curse. The curse is the key to understanding its original shape. God declared, "Cursed are you. You will crawl on your belly, and you will eat dust." That single phrase, "On your belly you shall go," is the central evidence. It strongly implies the creature did not move that way before this judgment. If the creature was already a snake, this part of the curse would be meaningless. The curse was a demotion from an upright form to a lowly crawl. The magnificent being instantly lost its legs. Its entire body was reshaped into the slithering reptile that we all now recognize as the snake. It was also cursed to eat dust, a symbol of its new degraded position. It was now bound to the earth, a sign of its total humiliation. Its radiant, shining appearance completely vanished. The brilliant light was replaced with the scales of a reptile, a permanent mark of its fall from grace. Its voice was also stripped away in that moment. The articulate, persuasive creature was forever silenced, its voice reduced to just a simple, threatening hiss. This transformation was a complete and utter humiliation. The once proud being was made into a lasting symbol of deceit, to be feared and despised by humanity. God also declared there would be hatred between the woman and the creature. This set up an eternal conflict between humanity and the serpent's kind. So, the snake we see today is not the original tempter. It is the cursed descendant of that far more powerful and intelligent Edenic creature. The story suggests the creature was a vessel for a deeper evil. Many believe it was influenced by a fallen spiritual force that used it as a disguise. That dark entity used the creature's beauty and intelligence as a perfect mask. It concealed its true, evil intentions from the innocent first human beings. The physical curse on the animal was therefore a visible, earthly judgment. It was a public sign of the spiritual judgment on the evil force behind it. The creature's pride was its greatest sin. It could not stand to see humans elevated above it, so it worked to bring them down to ruin. Its punishment was a perfect mirror of its crime. For seeking to raise itself up in pride, it was brought lower than any other beast of the field. The story therefore serves as a powerful cautionary tale. It warns about the great dangers of jealousy, pride, and questioning the goodness of the Creator. The creature's transformation is a symbol of total degradation. It shows how sin can corrupt and twist something beautiful into something base and ugly. This version of the story adds a tragic layer to the events. The creature was once a masterpiece, but it was completely ruined by its own dark choices. In the original language, its name is related to words for shining or whispering. This hints at a radiant, intelligent being, not just a simple animal. This richer meaning supports the idea of a glorious creature. It was far more than a garden snake. It was a being of great power and influence. This telling of the story fills in fascinating details. It paints a vivid picture of what this creature was like before its terrible, self-inflicted fall. The story speaks of its close relationship with the first humans. It wasn't a stranger, but was a known, and perhaps even admired, part of their world. This previous familiarity made its betrayal even more painful. The deception came from a creature that Eve likely trusted and saw as a source of wisdom. The loss of its legs was a physical symbol of its lost status. It could no longer stand tall among the other creatures that God had created. Being forced to crawl symbolized its new debased nature. It was forever bound to the ground as a constant reminder of its deceitful words and actions. The modern snake, in this view, is a living echo of that curse. Its silent, slithering form is a direct result of that ancient divine judgment. Every time a person feels fear or disgust for a snake, it recalls that ancient conflict. It is a primal memory of the first great betrayal. This perspective changes how we view the ancient story. The tempter becomes a much more formidable and ultimately tragic figure in the drama of creation. It was not an animal acting on simple instinct. It was a moral being that made a conscious choice to rebel against God and deceive other beings. Its great intelligence was a gift that it horribly misused. It twisted wisdom into cunning and turned the gift of speech into a weapon for lies. The beauty of the original creature was nothing but a deceptive mask. It concealed a heart that had grown dark with bitter envy and all-consuming pride. By understanding its magnificent original form, the curse becomes more profound. It wasn't just a punishment. It was a complete remaking of the creature's very essence. The tempter wanted to be like God, promising that same power to Eve. Instead, it was reduced to one of the lowest of all animal forms. This is a classic example of perfect, poetic justice. The punishment was designed to fit the crime with a devastating and inescapable sense of irony. The story becomes a cosmic drama, not a simple children's fable. It involves powerful beings, impossibly high stakes, and a fall that has affected all of history. The creature represents a corrupting influence entering a perfect world. Its actions were the first to introduce doubt, sin, and death into God's creation. Its legacy is one of broken trust and shattered relationships. It destroyed the harmony that existed between God, humanity, and the entire animal kingdom. This narrative gives the tempter a backstory. It had a past of glory, a motivation of jealousy, and a truly tragic end to its story. Its former existence was one of privilege and immense beauty. It foolishly threw all of that away for a brief moment of vengeful victory. Its fall from grace parallels other ancient stories of fallen beings. Pride is almost always shown as the root cause of rebellion against divine order. This creature was likely the pinnacle of all animal life. Its curse was to become a creature that many people now instinctively fear and deeply loathe. The silence forced upon it was deeply significant. The powerful voice that spoke lies was taken away, leaving only a threatening, non-verbal hiss. Its new form became a living warning to all of creation. It is a testament to the severe and lasting consequences of rising up against the Creator. This understanding gives new weight to the tempter's role. It was the catalyst, the trigger for the fall that forever changed human destiny. Its ability to reason was a key part of the trap. It presented a logical-sounding argument that Eve, in her innocence, found very hard to resist. The tempter of Eden was a unique being, one of a kind. After the curse, its original magnificent species was effectively wiped out of existence. This narrative offers an explanation for the universal aversion to snakes. It is not just a learned fear, but a deep, primal memory of betrayal. The promise of godhood was the ultimate and most tragic lie. Instead of ascending, humanity fell, and the tempter was brought even lower than them. The creature's choice had permanent, irreversible consequences. Its form was altered forever, a lasting sign of its terrible failure and subsequent judgment from on high. This view does not contradict the core message of the story. It simply adds a fascinating layer of depth and context to the tempter's identity. It emphasizes the spiritual nature of the conflict. The battle was never about a piece of fruit, but about loyalty, truth, and obedience to God. The tempter acted as the world's first false teacher. It twisted God's words and offered a path to wisdom that led only to ruin. Its beautiful, shining form made the lies seem more trustworthy. Evil often presents itself in an attractive and beautiful disguise to lure in the innocent. The curse may have also been a strange act of protection for humanity. It disarmed the tempter, taking away its powerful tools of deception forever. Imagine a world where such intelligent creatures still walked and talked. The potential for manipulation and deceit would be absolutely immense and constant. By reducing it to a common snake, God limited its future influence. It could no longer engage in debate. Its main weapon was taken from it. The creature's story is a foundational myth of transformation. It is a powerful narrative about how a being can be utterly changed by its moral choices. The Garden of Eden was a place of pure innocence. The tempter was the first to introduce complexity, doubt, and the darkness of moral ambiguity. It offered a shortcut to wisdom that bypassed humility and trust. This is a temptation that has been repeated throughout all of human history. The tempter's punishment was swift and incredibly dramatic. There was no negotiation or chance to appeal. The judgment was final and took effect immediately. This creature's downfall serves as a very stark reminder. Great gifts, like intelligence and beauty, are worthless if they are not paired with goodness. The tempter became the ultimate symbol of treachery. It betrayed the trust of Eve and defied the direct command of its own Creator and God. This interpretation helps solve a logical puzzle in the story. Why wasn't Eve shocked by a talking snake? Because, in this telling, it wasn't a snake yet. A magnificent, upright, and intelligent creature speaking would seem much more natural. It would have simply been seen as the wisest of all the animals. Ancient traditions often preserve these older versions of familiar stories. They provide a window into how people long ago understood this mysterious and pivotal figure. They saw the story of Eden as more than just a simple allegory. For them, It was a literal history involving incredible beings and world-altering events. The tempter was the great villain in this first story. Its actions set the stage for all the conflict and redemption that would follow in history. Its desire was to be the master of its own fate. In the end, it became a slave to its cursed form, forever crawling. The tempter's tale is a tragedy of cosmic proportions. It is the story of a magnificent creation that chose darkness and was remade into its opposite. This being was the first creature to experience God's direct wrath. Its punishment set a precedent for how seriously God views rebellion and disobedience. Its legacy is a world now filled with pain and struggle. Its single act of deception unleashed a torrent of suffering that affects us all. Its cursed form is a constant, living sermon for all to see. It silently preaches the consequences of pride and the cost of listening to lies. The tempter represents the other voice in the world, the one that whispers doubts, questions goodness, and encourages selfishness above all other things. This being's story highlights the reality of a spiritual battle. There are forces at work that actively seek to undermine goodness and lead people astray. The physical world was forever altered by this spiritual event. The creature's biology was changed as a direct result of its moral and spiritual failure. Thus, the snake is a creature that is defined by its past. It is a fallen being, a mere shadow of the glorious creature it once was. This ancient perspective offers a compelling and logical explanation. It answers many questions about the tempter and the true nature of its divine curse. The tempter was not created as a snake. According to this story, it was made into one as a direct result of its choices in the garden. Its story is a sober warning for all time. Our choices have the power to either elevate us or to bring us incredibly low.